Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Happy MLK Day. Luckily to work for an employer who recognizes it now. So we had the day off, a good day to reflect. How's your weekend been?
It's been good. Started off kind of rocky just because my wife and I went to the movies, got back to the apartment and realized—
You got into another fight with some random kids?
No, not this time. Thank God. There was a scare though, because people were talking during the previews and they were loud as fuck. And I'm like, not this shit again. But it was fine. But when we got back to the apartment, I couldn't find my keys, and we had to fucking walk all the way back. Check the theater, couldn't find it, but I was pretty sure I left it there. And she's like, well, maybe the janitor picked it up when they cleaned. And I went to Lost and Found, and they were like, we don't have anything, but leave your number, and if we find something that matches the description, we'll let you know. Didn't hear shit all weekend, but woke up to a voicemail today. Fortunately, They had it, so I saved myself like $400 because those key fobs are expensive as fuck.
Right, I was gonna say, you guys have like a fob entry kind of thing, right, to your main door. So luckily she had her key on you, or they opened the door for you?
No, so we had to use this. We have like this late night service where they can get us into our room, which costs $100. And fortunately, the guy just didn't charge us. He's like, I don't really charge people. They pay me anyways. So that it would have been $100. The key fob itself also would have been $100, and then my car key fob would have been another $300.
Ooh,
so
I forgot about
all that put together would have just been a pain in the ass. So thank God I found it.
Yeah, that could have been a very shitty start to the year, period. Dude, you know what's scary? Again, obviously you live in a more like up-to-date apartment complex where like almost like a hotel-ish, which is fire. Dude, I remember my first apartment, actually pretty nice for like a broke college kid. But dude, I lost my keys at a football game. I didn't realize till I got home, and then I go to open my door and I'm like, fuck, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Bro, I call a locksmith. Yo, you know how alarming it is that after $350, he was able to break in and unlock my door in like 5 seconds, bro. And I'm just like, this is the safety? Like, this is this little lock. Yo, no exaggeration. That shit was like, boop, boop. And I'm like, bro, first of all, why does that cost me $350? And then like, bro, like if someone wants to break into your house, I realize on that moment, like they're breaking into your house. Like there's nothing that's stopping them from breaking into your house.
And what's more concerning with this extra security setup though is, so this happened to us when we first moved into our new unit. We went downstairs to get something and realized we left all our keys inside. So I called the like emergency line. This was like at 10 o'clock at night, so the leasing office isn't open, but the emergency line wasn't answering. And I swear we thought we were gonna have to sleep in the fucking lobby. It just so happened our door had some sort of issue where it didn't lock completely. So I was like, let me just go upstairs. By the grace of God, you know, the door will kind of be wedged open, and thank God it was. Otherwise, we would have had to get a hotel.
How many hours of you like stressing did you realize that?
Probably like an hour and a half.
Oh, bro, that's
it was a nightmare.
Oh man, the shit that we have to deal with while getting old, bro. I was just at a baby shower this past weekend, and it's like other guys were having kids soon, and it's like you start thinking about the family car and does she qualify for maternity leave? It's like, bro, like this is too much. Like I don't know if I'm old enough for this yet, bro. Like, oh man, but it's all good, bro. I'm glad you were able to get in. Before we move on, though, what was the movie you peeped this weekend?
It was called Plane. Gerard Butler, and I forget the black actor's name. He's Luke Cage in Marvel or whatever, but essentially the story is he's a pilot. They crash in like this region of the Philippines that's run by I don't know, like this evil army. I forget what the official military name is, but they try to escape this and get back home. That's the premise.
Is it good? Because I feel like Gerard Butler hasn't had a good movie since like 300.
My wife liked it. It's entertaining, but like it's kind of cheesy. It's like one of those movies you'd put on that comes on like that USA Network or whatever.
Okay. And, like almost like background noises, but you're kind of like observing, but you're not really.
Yeah, it's entertaining if you have nothing to do. I wouldn't race to the movie theater to go see it though.
Right. And you probably wouldn't, because you have the stub deal, right? Like you probably wouldn't have bought a ticket just solely for this movie.
Nah. No.
Because I'm telling you, like, I haven't seen a good Gerard Butler movie. No, I would take that. I would say Law Abiding Citizen, which is a good one with him and Jamie Foxx. But bro, even that is like 2010.
Yeah.
So, bro, what, 13 years? Yeah, Gerard Butler, whatever we thought he was gonna be, bro. Maybe we make a category most disappointing actor. Like,
I know he should, have bet because I think he's a good actor. I think the scripts maybe are just not the best.
Dude, what I really think that happens, and this is just more like Americans' like naive nature, is that we fucked with him because like everyone in 300 had like a British accent, right? Mm. But then he starts getting like that he's like the normal dad down the street, and he tries to do an American accent. It's like, bro, where are you from, bro? Like, where in America does that accent even exist? I think that is like, again, I mean, maybe it's just bad acting per se. I think he's a good actor, but yeah, like the voice, like I don't believe you, bro. Like, like you don't sound like fucking Miley's dad from across the street. You sound like Miley's uncle from London. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, in this movie, he was pretty. I think he was believable in his role. I think the movie was just very predictable.
Sure.
And I don't like those kinds of films. But yeah, it's one of if you have like 4 hours to kill on a Sunday afternoon and really don't know what the fuck you want to do, put it on.
Just put it on. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. All right, man. That's The Weeknd by Audio Theory. All right, man. Let's jump into it. Keeping things going. Episode 128 is currently up and running right behind me. Hopefully you guys can see this in the video when I edit it later. Man, I wanted to touch upon a couple of topics. One came to mind. I was watching all the football this weekend. Dude, I completely forgot that Rihanna is performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know, bro. I know we spoke about it before in a podcast, but I just get like all the things in music. I'm like, who gives a fuck? But now that it's 2.5 weeks away, what are your expectations of that performance?
Yeah. I think we chatted about this in some capacity before. For me personally, Rihanna's one of my favorite female artists.
Okay, nice.
The reason being is I think she was like a nice blend with the contemporary male artists that I was fans of. She didn't make the stereotypical female music we have now, where it's just like pussy, 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 twerk, twerk, twerk type shit. But I feel like at this point in time, she's so just in another stratosphere as far as her career goes.
Facts.
I'm not expecting her to return to that. I think she had a really strong song with the new Wakanda movie.
Yeah.
So obviously she's probably going to perform stuff along those lines. Probably a couple old hits that everyone loves. I don't know if I'm really expecting too much outside of that. I feel like she's not really eager to return to the music scene as far as what I can, glean from her just not really doing a whole lot in the music scene.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, I don't really expect a whole lot. I think it's just gonna be a couple good moments, but not something people are gonna talk about for weeks.
Oh, damn. Okay. So not like The Weeknd.
I hope she proves me wrong though.
Yeah. Okay. But so you don't think it's going to be like your initial thoughts are like, it won't be like The Weeknd who had like a million versions of him, like that whole show where like, dude, remember like that performance was like a meme for like a year. You know what I mean? Like you don't think it'll be something like that big?
I don't think so. I feel like The Weeknd musically just kind of had something to prove, even though everyone fucking loves him already. I think he just wanted to showcase his greatness like on a Michael Jackson level, whereas I feel like Rihanna doesn't care as much. So I guess that's why I feel like the performance won't be at that level.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, dude, like, what about before I jump, do you think she's bringing out any guests?
It'd be dope if ASAP came out.
They have a song together?
I don't know if They don't have a song together, but
the idea of it.
Just the idea of them being like the new power couple or whatever. But I feel like she has to have one guest come out. I'm just not entirely sure who that would be. Like maybe Jay-Z, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
Too big for like. I feel like there's no way Jay-Z would do a. I see a logic though, like the whole Rock Nation, like she's always been like his little sister kind of a thing. But I feel like there's no way Jay-Z is gonna ever do the Super Bowl and not be the main guy. You know what I mean? Like he's just too fucking big.
Yeah.
Like he is the NFL if you think about it. Like he's like. But I would say what I can see is I can see like Calvin Harris, right? Because they have that big song together, and then I can see a moment where like it becomes about him for like 2 minutes, and he plays like a melody of like different songs, and then it comes back to her on her own shit. Like I can see that happening.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's interesting too because he's not really like a vocalist, so. You just mean more so like doing his thing on the...
Yeah, so I can see it like, because they always have like fans on the field like while the performance is happening. So I can see him just playing a couple bangers while she's like changing to her next outfit and like the crowd's going crazy and then she comes out with... Because I think she's only playing bangers, bro. Like nothing but bangers. Like I don't even think she does the Wakanda song.
Okay.
It might be too depressing. Like I think it's nonstop, bro. Diamonds... Dude, Kanye fucked it up for her, but I could even see. I would have thought she'd do like a couple Kanye songs as well. Like, bro, like I'm just nonstop, like Umbrella. Like, bro, I'm thinking any hit she ever had in the last 20 years, she's doing.
Okay, so if she does that, then I do see this being like a monumental moment and nostalgic for everyone who loves her because those hits were massive. We just haven't heard them in forever. So yeah, it could be massive.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, but as well, I completely forgot that I think the Super Bowl just kind of stuck up on all of us. Like, we just had other shit going on, and then I think they announced it forever ago. But yeah, man, it's a big moment for her, bro. Like, again, I think she's proven, kind of to our points where we got like ridiculed in the comments last week about like Drake going away. I think she's a perfect example of an artist who benefits from going away. Like. Her stock has probably never been higher with her fans craving music, and like it may be ass whatever album if she puts an album out, but bro, like the numbers are going to be crazy because people are like actually anticipating this. Whereas again with other artists, not specific anyone like Drake, whoever, but like when these artists constantly put albums out every single year, it's like, bro, come on, like fuck, man, like are you even inspired? Like why are you just doing this kind of a thing, right? So I think she's like the great example of like, bro, you can make people get excited for you and not flood the fucking streets every single week with like a fucking single or an album.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll look out to Rihanna. I think that's on February 11th. So yeah, like 3 weeks away. But again, we'll have a close to that. We'll talk more about it. But obviously, dude, she's been probably one of the biggest stories in hip hop music or R&B music or pop culture for the past 20 years. A topic came up, bro, one of my group chats. I wanted to talk to you about it. We named a couple names, but if you had to think in recent history, an artist or a group that probably had everything built to be a star and ended being absolutely disappointing to what you envisioned, do you have an artist or a group that comes to mind?
Yes. And for me, that person would be B.O.B. Forget if we spoke about this before, but I always thought he was kind of pitted to be like he had a Drake level hype at a certain point. What I mean by that,
we pretty much we only know fucking Bruno Mars because of B.O.B.
Pretty much, yeah. That Bruno Mars like came up on that "Nothing But You" song. Not to say that without that song, Bruno.
Sure, but like that's how big he was. Like he could put another artist on that we never even fucking knew about. Like,
right. And he had that huge hit, Airplanes, Eminem. I believe that girl from, was it Paramore?
Yeah, the main singer. The group was called
Main Singer. And he had everything, the machine behind him. And I think ultimately, from what I understand, he had issues with his label. I think they were trying to maybe push him in a direction he didn't want to go, and he became like a conspiracy theorist, and everything kind of just like crumbled.
Super conspiracy theorist stuff.
Yeah, like flat Earth, all kinds of random shit. Apparently a Holocaust denier even.
Oh wow.
And I think he just had so much potential, still does. He has a song that he came out with a few months ago. I think I might have even sent it to you, that was really good. And I think if he can just focus on making hits, there's no reason he couldn't come back. But I think he was one of those people I was disappointed to see kind of just fall off the face of the earth in terms of, you know, respect within the game, because you know, he still has the talent and skill to be that, you know, top guy in a certain regards.
Yeah, dude. And also that first album was great. Like, it was a great album. It wasn't like 2 hits and then like, yeah, whatever, like it's 15 songs of mediocrity. Like, the album was fucking phenomenal. So even like the songs that weren't being played on the radio back then were still like songs you would bang like at a party or something.
And at the time, I was, when that album, the Airplanes one or whatever came out, I was interning at Atlantic Records, and the A&R guy who I was interning for, you know, he was all excited. He was like, yeah, like B.O.B was, you know, over here the other day. And I was like playing my beats strategically around him so he could hear them. And apparently like he was nodding his head to one of his beats. So it was just interesting hearing that, because clearly he was the guy that like everyone wanted to work with. And now, you know, people on the internet would be like who? He fell off. Like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, washed, whatever you want to say. Yeah.
I knew he was really good, bro, obviously from the music, because all his shit started coming out when we were like in the midst of college, and like at least for me, like properly listening to shit again, like because there was a gap when I was in India. Like, bro, it was so hard to get music. But when I got back to the States, I was like, oh wow, this guy is like it, right? Or the next guy. And then I remember like, dude, I was still watching when 106 in Park was a thing on BET. I think like Eminem was on, and he was talking about like the most talented artist he's been around the last like 5-10 years was B.O.B. This guy can sing, do the instruments, rap, drums, write. It's like, bro, what can't you do? Kind of a thing. So it's pretty wild how like it's not just like the fans loved him. It seems that artists also looked up to him, even though he was so young. And that's a great choice, man, because if you would have told 2009 Blair what B.O.B would be in 2023, you're like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah. And I think he played the guitar. Like, he just had that it factor where he wasn't just, you know, someone there for the moment who didn't appreciate the art. Like, he was a true artist, still is, but it's just interesting the trajectory of his career.
Yeah, I do. And again, everyone has a story, right? So there's a reason he ended up not being whatever we thought he'd be, I'm sure. But you can also say he went crazy, bro. Like, there's like enough, like, dude, this guy just lost his mind when it comes to like focusing on this, like the craft, right? Like, again, I'm sure he's fine, whatever. But I mean, he seems kind of, from what I've seen on social, it's like, bro, like, it doesn't seem he has it all there for what you need an artist to be kind of together when composing an album, right? Because these guys are all crazy to a certain level. Like, you have to be crazy to even think of some of the shit they think of, but like, you also have to have a little bit of like consciousness, and I don't think he has that at this present time.
Yeah, and I guess a parallel person could even be like Lupe, but yeah, certain artists, I think, you know, they have the skill and talent, but that commercial fame just isn't for them, and maybe that just pushes them so far in the opposite direction to where they just feel like the world's out to get them, or like it's this dark evil place, and they just turn to like more conscious stuff that, you know, only the core fan base will really care about.
I think he was also, a couple of videos I saw back in like 2017, that he was also like a big push of like the Illuminati being like a real thing.
Yeah. I think all that stuff is like there's truth to it, but like, I don't know, it starts to get a little fairy tale-ish after a while, like with the extreme stuff they claim.
Yeah. And it's also like, all right, if it's true, make it into like a popular song, bro. Like,
just make it a good song. Like, literally, just make good music about it.
Song. Like, just let's talk about it, bro. That's a really good pick, man. I wonder if the people listening or watching will agree. So definitely put that in the comments. Dude, for me, I had a couple. My initial answer was going to be Dave East, but I was just like, nah, bro. I didn't have big hopes for him anyway in the beginning. But dude, I have a good one, and only because like it came to me a couple days ago, But then also Drake posted about him to I think 24 hours ago. So I was like, oh, dude, perfect timing. So Drake posted a picture of Fabulous and said, bro, without you, there'd be no me. You inspired. And then I started posting pictures of him on different magazines. Dude, I'll go back to, I think 13 or 14-year-old Danny. And bro, Fabulous was it, man. He was the super kid, coming through. He had the song with Nate Dogg. He had the song with Pharrell. The first album dropped the same day as the Blueprint did with Jay-Z. And he still did crazy numbers. And dude, I'm telling you, there was no song that the remix didn't have Fabulous on the feature. You just need to have Fabulous on at that time from 2001 till 2003 and 4, bro. But then I don't know what happened between 50 Cent coming out till now that he just became another guy, right? And again, he can look back his career. From everything I see on IG, I still follow him. He has this a set at Dre's every week in Vegas. It seems that his life is good. And dude, you have some will say the most well-respected, the GOAT of today in Drake saying you inspired him, right? So maybe that's all worth it. But for what Fabulous was meant to be in 2001 to what his career has ended up being, he'll drop a good mixtape every now and then, but no real mainstream success. That's crazy to me, because I'm telling you, bro, especially in New York, we thought he was the next Jay-Z. We're all the talent in the world, looks cool, dresses fly, super slick with the fucking metaphors and play on words. And to see him just be another guy and then really be lost. He became a guy in the back. It was 50, Dipset, Cameron, Jay-Z, and then you talk about Fabulous. Oh, that guy from the street who has great bars and shit. It's wild, bro.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, as a diehard New York, but just as a diehard hip hop fan, I would say his career, for what it could have been, is pretty disappointing to me.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing pick. And I don't know if you remember, but one of our first few episodes, one of the things you addressed was that Fabulous was the original Drake that never came to be.
Yeah, we had to do that. That was episode 5.
Yeah, 2 years ago or something. And I remember it too, because we were still using GIFs every 10 minutes in the video. But yeah, my brother Mickey especially, we would always blast the album, the one with Nate Dogg, back when, and he was easily one of my favorite rappers. Even his verse on the Lil Mo song, I forget the name of it, but yeah, he had everything.
Superwoman.
Superwoman. Yeah, I loved his fucking verse. But yeah, similar to Drake, he had the appeal of the street dudes. The ladies loved him. He made good, I guess, R&B-ish type music as well.
But never sang, though. He was still always a rapper. Yeah.
Well, but I think his mellow flow made it easy for those songs to stand out, the female oriented ones. And yeah, I don't really know too much what happened. I think he just didn't really put out much. He
put out a lot, bro. If I had to think back to that time, progressing through the years, maybe similar to B.O.B, but I think it became difficult. How are we marketing you? Yeah. Who do you want to appeal to, bro? Do you want to appeal to the masses? Because you're not really giving us songs that are for mass consumption. It's almost
New
you
York
have
focus,
to be a hood dude who has money to relate in some capacity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel his demographic never was allowed to expand besides either you're in the culture and you love him, but if you're outside the culture, bro, think about it, he doesn't have those Maroon 5 features. He doesn't have those features with these R&B artists that are worldwide artists that oh cool, random fans can pick up. I think it became difficult to market. And I remember, bro, he dropped a song with, and this album I think the album was called Loso's Way. He dropped a song with Ryan Leslie and Carrie Hilson. At the time, Carrie Hilson was the shit.
Love that song. Yeah.
He just came off like whatever like she was doing with Timbaland, and Ryan Leslie was having a moment in hip hop and R&B. And Ryan Leslie produced this crazy fucking beat, right? And bro, like the bars were just like, from Fabulous. And then at that moment, even though I bought the CD, was hype as fuck to listen to it, I was like, bro, like, if you're not hitting on this beat, bro, what are you gonna hit on? You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like he would have a moment with a single, and he had moments afterwards and before. But like when it was to come out with a full album for mass consumption, to at least say, bro, like, I can be the best rapper out, it always fell short to me. Like, it just... I
actually loved his bars. You're talking about the Everything, Everywhere, whatever the song's called?
Bro, if you listen, listen to it now with your 33-year-old ears. And there's going to be moments where he repeats the Pringles and Ruffles and stack your chips. And it's like, bro, okay, I heard this like 3 songs ago, bro. Like, why are you recycling this like on the same album? Like,
yeah. But I feel like those are unfortunately, the cornier bars that like the TikTok era wants to hear.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Maybe like one of my points later in the episode is like, should we start bringing certain things back? But I would just say there's been enough moments where like it was just so not heartbreaking, but bro, as a diehard Fabulous fan from like 01 to like not see him become at any point, bro, because at no point did like he ever reached like to even like mid Drake status. You know what I mean? Like it was always just like he was loved in the hood. And again, that was enough, bro. Again, dude, this guy's having a very successful life from everything I see. But again, I feel like his ceiling was so much higher than where he actually ended up. And again, he's ended up at a very great level. If we could live a life like Fabulous, I think we'd both be happy. But it just felt that he had a lot more to offer to music in general.
I think he just might be a bit too New York for the average listener.
That's a good point.
I mean, I love his music. I've always loved music from New York. But I think that obviously that region of the world tends to skew more lyrical, more boom bap, even if the beats are kind of more commercial. I just think ever since Atlanta took over, like you kind of are forced to become part of that scene, or you have to go to like drill or something. I feel like that's like the only other acceptable lane if you want to be from a less commercial standpoint, but still like hood.
That's a
so I feel like that kind of hurt his reach. And I don't even know if he necessarily cares, but I feel like that
he probably doesn't care, to be perfectly honest, which is good, bro. I'm glad that he's in a position where he can like not care, right? Because it'd suck if he was like really washed and like, yo, like, dude, I could have, you know, if he was broke or something, right? Where everything shows that he's not, and he's still like in great circles. But because I was actually doing a shuffle on my phone yesterday, and like I forgot that he was on that Uptown song with Meek Mill and that Spanish artist Anuel. Like, and that song only came out like 3 years ago, and that's a banger. You know what I mean? So again, he has the ability, but I feel like it just sucks in hindsight that it never really, you know, came together. So I think Fab and B.O.B are 2 good ones for our generation. Add some more to the comments. Let us know who we missed out on, or if you completely disagree about those 2 artists. All right, bro. So you brought up TikTok, so this might be a good segue then. So what are some trends that you don't want to see going into 2023?
I definitely don't want to see lazy sampled songs. I feel like we've gotten so much of that, and there's nothing wrong with sampling. You know, Kanye West is a great example of someone who knows how to flip a beat and, you know, recreate it damn near entirely.
Different song after him.
Different song. And I think now we've gotten to a point where people are just playing off the nostalgia factor, adding a couple drums and hi-hats, using the same damn hook pretty much, and re-releasing it like how, you know, Hollywood functions with movies, just re-releasing the same shit, knowing it's going to get at least some nostalgia plays. And I think we've just had enough of that. It doesn't impress me, and it just makes me want to listen to the original. So that's one huge thing I hope stops. And the second one, I don't necessarily need it to stop completely, but I'm kind of over the whole drill music scene.
This nigga stealing my ideas.
Like, we get it. You cop bodies. We know you have guns. We know you're gonna be around for 6 months because you're gonna have a RICO case or get caught for a murder you did 2 weeks ago. Like,
so when you say drill music, you mean like the lyrics or just like that overall like very similar beat production?
I think the sound and the vocals. Like, I've listened to Bronx drill. Like, no, not to shit on, you know, where you're from.
No, shit on it, bro. Shit on it. It's not good.
The
bro.
scene, like the vocal, like said that demonic. I'm gonna try to recreate it, but where they're like, put in the pull,
yeah,
and they just have that dark, like nasally, weird, you know, vocal tone.
Yeah,
and it just totally doesn't sound good to me. Like, I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's also like it's hard to sound good when you also sound like everyone else doing it. Like, it's not even like no one stands out doing, like, rest in peace of Pop Smoke. But I think that's why he got so much appeal, because like he sounded different in a world where all these guys kind of try to sound the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, exactly. So no drill music and no more. Yeah, the sampling one, I'm 100% with you, bro. Like, that's probably my biggest pet peeve. It's gonna be funny because like my other thing that I want to bring back is kind of similar in the same vein, but the sampling, bro. Like, yeah, man, like just call it a remake. You know, if anything, because bro, it's just too obvious, bro. Like, it's not even like you're using the vocal or half a beat, whatever. It's like, bro, we're gonna just literally just rap over the same exact song. And it's like, bro, like, how is that creative, bro? Like, even if the lyrics slap in some amazing way, it's like, bro, like, this is what I'm tuning in for? Like, there's a freestyle? Bro, like, what the fuck is this? So, yeah, I would say I'm definitely anti that going into this year, 2023. What are some trends you hope to see this year?
Trends I hope to see? I guess more generally speaking, I don't know, more positive or at least neutral music that isn't just shoot 'em up. I know we just talked about drill music, but outside of that, I think I'm just really looking for someone to pioneer some sort of new sound. I feel like we've been getting the same shit for the longest time. It's either just drill music, rage music, like the, you know, Trippie Reds and Uzi Verts, or just like viral TikTok songs that are here and gone within a month.
Bro,
I feel like there's not much
even
outside of that.
That, bro. Yeah. I feel you with that. Bro, that's a good one. Dude, for me, for trends, I have a couple, man. So one is I want more conscious listeners, bro. Like, I want listeners in 2023 because, again, even though we were both I was less than you. I know you were more excited for like releases this year. I don't think we're going to have a shit ton of great releases. So I almost want to prepare listeners and have them be more conscious and like go back and listen to shit from years ago. Like, don't let the remake of a song be the first time you remember, oh, fuck, that's from Fergie's version of this. You know what I mean? Like, go back and listen to the music that came out and used to get people so fucking amped, bro, or got you amped and like made you feel a real feeling. Whereas like the music today, like this last like 12 months, bro, there's only like a handful of artists that actually makes you like, yo, repeat that song again. And I feel like we had a ton of that from like 09 to like 15. And no one listens to that shit anymore, bro. Like you have to have like a great DJ bring it back on a set. Be like, oh, fuck, dude, like, who was that again? So I would just say I would love to see a trend where like, if we see songs going viral on TikTok, it's because like conscious listeners are the ones like reminding us about a great song, as opposed to this guy sampled the entire song and put his lyrics on. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, 100% agree with that.
Yeah, bro, because I feel like we lose sight of like the system, bro. The system is just putting out new fucking albums every week, every fucking Friday on Apple and Spotify. Like, here's 15 new albums. It's like, bro, I don't have time for this shit. You know what I mean? Whereas like we forget about, dude, we had gems just sitting there in our catalogs to go fucking check on Spotify and Apple, and no one. We have literally every song ever created, and no one cares. like no one gives a fuck, bro. Like that's insane to me.
People are lazy. They just want want the powers that be to choose who you should listen to, basically.
Correct, bro. And like that's wild, man. Like, again, not to fucking sound like B.O.B. or some conspiracy shit, but like, yeah, like you should be able at the age of even 19 to be like, I don't like this song and I do like this song. And even though this song is old from 5 years ago, I still love this song, even though it's not going with the trends of whatever, beat production's happening now. I feel like, I think listeners need to be better about that shit for sure. And what other trend do I want to see? Oh, bro, I think this trend's already happening, but I do want to see the age of the DJ-led mixtape come back. Like the Don C's and the Big Sean's coming out with like a finally famous 1, 2, 3 kind of a thing. Like Gangsta Girls. Again, I think dramas bring that back little by little. But like that era, bro. Like I would love a Metro Boomin to drop another like 3 album thing where it's just him and another artist nonstop, right? Like I feel like we need to bring that shit back, right? Because it's happening in pockets, but I feel like it's almost like the ones who are doing it are too focused on it like being like an album in a moment. And like just go back to the grimy shit, bro, where you just fucking take a couple beats and you throw a freestyle on it. Like I know it's kind of like contradicting to what I said earlier, but like if it's in the context of a mixtape, I think we'll accept it more. You know what I mean? Like it's just you proving how skilled you are as opposed to you pretending this is a new song.
I could get on board with that. And I feel like a lot of times that forces the artist to kind of have a chemistry with the DJ or producer or whatever, and can bring out the best in them. And it just feels more cohesive and sometimes better than an album, because you feel like they're making art at their truest form and not trying to just get sales and just picking the hottest 5 beats or whatever and just throwing it out there.
Yeah, like anti DJ Khaled, to be perfectly honest, right? Like Khaled gets a beat and it's like, who's the 10 biggest artists in the world? Let me call all of them and put them all in the song. It's like, bro, like how the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, less Khaled in 2023 and on. Like, God bless him. This man has made a ton of money. But bro, less of him, man, because that shit does nothing for me anymore.
Same.
All right. Any other trends? Are you good with those two?
I'm good with those.
All right, bet. So do you want to do up to we'll do one of these 2 topics. Do you want to do the 1-year look back on those 2 albums or everyone unfollowing Gunna?
Everyone unfollowing Gunna.
Okay, so we'll save the other one for next week or the week after, because that's like again timeless or whatever. All right, so we brought it up last week. I think Gunna has been released from prison for like maybe a month now, right? I think it was like right before Christmas or that he got released. So he came out with a post last week stating, "It's still YSL the label. I never switched up. Free Young Thug." And then within a week, I think Lil Durk put a snippet out that hints that he's dissing him, or is like obvious that he's dissing him?
I think it hints, like it's a play on words.
Okay.
Seems like a bit of a stretch to me, but everyone says he's.
Everyone's saying.
I mean,
I think everyone's saying it. I didn't hear. I don't think from it, but again, like if it's the masses may be right on this. Lil Baby unfollowed him. Meek Mill unfollowed him, and I think a bunch of other artists that you would have figured would have still supported him, or you definitely knew were down with Gunna before all this shit happened, have unfollowed him on Instagram. So it would seem like our favorite artists are from what they know are saying, "Now we're good with you." So do you agree with it? Like, what are your thoughts on it overall?
I mean, part of me is glad that they're keeping the same energy. Because I mean, this whole snitching thing is stupid, in my opinion. But if you're a straight dude who claims to abide by these rules, the least you could do is, treat everyone the same as far as, who isn't or isn't following the rules.
Sure.
But also it kind of just seems like a stupid virtual signaling type of move to where, they're saying, "Oh, I'm street, therefore I can't associate with this person and that person.
I can't follow you."
Right. And it's funny too, because the average rapper or street rapper probably hasn't faced, 20, 30, 40 years
yeah.
courtroom.
So it's real convenient for you to say it from your luxury home in Georgia, you fuck.
Right. And I get it. If you're facing that amount of time, your career in life is pretty much over. Whereas if you're facing 5 to 10 years, unfortunately, it's kind of like a boot camp where if you get out, you're going to sell more. People are going to respect you more. So it's almost in your best interest to go to jail for 4 or 5 years.
Because your street cred's going through the roof.
Like, look at Bobby Shmurda. He's living his life. He doesn't really seem to be putting out much and is doing perfectly fine. But if it was 30, 40 years, his ass would have been toast, coming out, doing absolutely nothing, being homeless, basically. So
yeah, you would think. Yeah.
So I guess for me, to summarize everything, I think it is kind of concerning. It should be concerning from Gunna's part, what his career is gonna look like, because he's gonna need to rely on some of these dudes to
give that cosign,
vouch for him. Yep. And if everyone is gonna give him the Tekashi treatment, he's fucked, because at least Tekashi embraced it. He's still a fan amongst pretty much internationally, no one gives a fuck about his
But side note, so Funk Master Flex from Hot 97 fame came out with a statement like a couple hours ago that said he's removing his personal ban on not playing 6ix9ine music anymore because of apparently a lot of us are snitching now. So why am I banning one person? That was interesting.
That's dope. I think at the end of the day, I just appreciate when people check their own hypocrisy and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. If we're doing this over here, I should be able to do that over here as well. So hopefully people just realize this snitching stuff is a facade, at least within the industry and in general. And at the end of the day, people just care about the music. So we'll see.
Do you think that the energy from rappers towards Gunna is this? I mean, it's hard to say aggressive, right? Because the idea of unfollowing you seems like what a petty ex would do, right? Like, oh, we had a fight, I'm unfollowing you, you're blocked. But it is aggressive though, because that shit holds weight. You know what I mean? In the industry, like now hip hop fans are like almost choosing sides, right? Like, so, and if all their favorite artists are choosing not to fuck with him, guess what's gonna happen? They're not gonna fuck with him either. But do you think a lot of this has to do to our point last week where how beloved Young Thug is? And because this dude snitching may, in the eyes of the public, put away their favorite artist for 30, 40 years, that everyone's like, bro, fuck you. We're good. Because I think the Young Thug factor plays the biggest part, as opposed to if this dude would have snitched just to get himself out and no one really cares about the other people affected, then I don't think the fallout's this big.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's the biggest reason. If this was a random person or just a random gang that he was putting behind bars, I don't think people would care that much. The Meek Mills and Durks of the world would, but the consumer definitely wouldn't care.
Yeah, the consumer wouldn't care.
And the fact that people love Young Thug put Gunna on, it just makes the optics look just horrible for him. So
yeah, bro. Yeah. Bad, bro. So again, I think, but I still stand by what we said last week. I think all this goes away because similar to like the not fiasco, bro, but like Drake taking Tory Lane's side during that whole back and forth with Megan, I feel like Drake was going off the information he had at the time, right? Like, I do think that these rappers are unfollowing him because of what they have currently. If it comes out in fucking 6 months that he never really snitched on Young Thug and Young Thug gets out of jail and Thug puts his arm around him, it's all going to be fine. But as far as him coming out with an album in the next 6 to 7 months, like, bro, I don't think he can do anything until the final verdict is determined for Young Thug's case. Like, I really think Gunna's life or hip hop career is in limbo until that's all sorted out. Because, yeah, bro, like, man, we were shocked when he fucking outsold The Weeknd to start last year. bro, we're gonna be shocked when he sells 10 records his first week because no one's gonna peep that shit.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think it doesn't look good for Young Thug, but I think Young Thug will have to issue, once he issues any statement about Gunna, that's going to determine everything.
Yeah.
Like if he says fuck Gunna, it's over for Gunna, at least from a mainstream standpoint. And if he says, yo, like young Gunna's slime for life or some stupid shit.
Yeah. That's my boy. Yeah. He puts, $1,000 in my whatever every week, whatever, like for cigarette, like whatever. Yeah. No, I feel you. And again, but he probably can't say anything until the case is over, right? Because then I'd be like tampering or some shit, probably. Like,
I mean, he definitely can't say anything incriminating, but I couldn't see why he couldn't, easily just say a tweet like, "That's still my boy" or something. I don't know.
Dude, maybe that's what these guys are going off. Maybe him not saying it a month after Gunna's been released is like speaking volumes, right? Even though he's saying nothing. Exactly,
because I'm sure, I mean, there's no way Young Thug isn't aware of everything going on right now. So you would think if he really cared, if I was in Young Thug's position, and someone I cared about was getting destroyed by the industry, I would be on whatever illegal phone that came out of someone's ass typing quick.
Dude, but it's not even legal, bro. These guys are on Twitter in jail every day like it's nothing. Like, I don't know what public computer they're using, but they're all on Twitter all the time. So, if he wanted to get on Twitter and, like, defend him, he easily could.
Yeah. I guess that's what people are going off of then.
Yeah. Like, we just solved the crime, bro. Yeah, Gunna's career's done, bro. Tune in next week to see where we at with pushing plea. But yeah, that's very interesting, man. But good call on that topic, and we'll save the album comparison for next week. All right, my guy, before we get out of here, episode 129, phenomenal, just the progress. Do you have a heat of the week for the people?
Heat of the week, I think for me, there hasn't been a ton since we last spoke, but there's an artist that I've been following for quite some time. He's a writer as well, kind of like Jalian, where they write for others as well as make their own art. And the song is called Whatever You Want. And the reason why I like him as an artist is because I feel like his sound is a lot more unique than some of the other contemporary guys. This song in particular kind of has a more 80s influence vibe to it, and he's just one of those artists I feel like makes art that he wants to make and isn't trying to appeal to a certain
masses
group of listeners. So that song I think is a really good vibe. It's called Whatever You Want by Johnny Yukon. And
Johnny Yukon, I feel like I've heard that name before. Is he like a new artist though? He's been around for a minute.
He's been around for a minute, at least as a writer, musically as well, but he's definitely not mainstream to the point where everyone knows.
I got you
about him.
I got you. Okay, Johnny Yukon. Send me that song. I'll definitely add to the playlist. For me, dude, again, I'm going by what I preach. I'll put it back here. It works on the screen. Perfect. So, dude, I've been going through a bunch of old catalogs recently because, again, I just haven't been that inspired by anything that I've been listening to recent that's come out. But I did put on the More Life playlist by Drake and OVO. And then, dude, I forgot about Do Not Disturb, the last song on that album, bro. Phenomenal. Just like him talking about again, that's why you can't not like Drake, bro, because like the way he can just touch base into like and make his life feel like your life and like a soundtrack of what you've been through at some point is just like flawless, bro. And the beat production is great. Overall, I really didn't enjoy the overall More Life project that much, maybe because like it was too much of like, I don't know. It didn't seem cohesive. It really just felt like a playlist, but like a playlist that wasn't done like properly curated. But there were some gems. Ice Melts with Young Thug is another fucking great song. KMIT with Gigs from London's great. But Do Not Disturb if you guys forgot about that song, I mean, I can't believe that this fucking album came out in 2016, which is crazy.
Terrifying.
But yeah, peep it, man. Peep it again. And again, take a deep dive into some classic music that we all seem to forget about.
For sure. No, I like that approach. Every now and then I will go back to some album and then find a new gem. And I'm like, why did I skip this song?
Yo, why did I skip this song? Bro, but dude, because I mean, back then it wasn't TikTok, but back then it wasn't the one that the radio was pushing or that all your friends were posting in their IG stories. So like, why would you care? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying when we listen to shit again with like modern day ears, especially us who like keep like diving through people's music, like it's pretty interesting how like you're like, oh fuck man, like he was talking about this kind of shit back then, and like that's impressive as well, like the growth. But like, damn, like how big were you then that shit's still like, if you rap about that now, it's still like a big deal. Like that's pretty crazy.
Right. It just reminded me of Can't Hang by Preem, because I swore I listened to that project
when it first came out.
Yeah, and somehow skipped that song, which is fucking
greatest
crazy.
Song of the decade, bro. Love it, dude. Love it, man. Well, dude, let the people know where they can peep us, what we got going on. Let's get out of here.
Yep, check us at audio-theory.com on all streaming platforms. New episode every week. We got the Spotify and Apple Music playlist as well, so be sure to check that out. And we got merch on the site as well, so be sure to cop a hoodie or a t-shirt or sticker, whatever you'd like. As far as what we got going on in the near future, just more and more content, looking to do some collabs with YouTubers, potentially interviews as well, if it makes sense. But I think we have a lot of good momentum so far this year, so excited about all that.
For sure. And keep checking out the content. The comments are great. We really appreciate the views. Share with your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend. But my dude, love you, man. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Love you
and,
too.
Talk soon.
Same. Peace.
Peace.